if your weight loss journey had nothing to do with willpower and everything to do with your relationship to yourself? If you're tired of diets, food guilt, and feeling like a failure every time you fall off track, this episode is for you. Welcome to episode 18 of the Midlife Reset podcast. I'm Cheryl Gordon, yoga therapist and educator for midlife women who want to lose weight and sleep better and feel stronger using the tools of yoga and mindfulness. Today, I'll walk you through 5 simple steps to start mindful eating. This is a compassionate, body-aware approach that helps you tune into hunger and plan realistically and enjoy food without shame or restriction. This isn't a set of rules. It's a mindset shift. It's about reclaiming your energy, your joy, and your power one bite at a time. So let's get started. At the end of 2023, I was gaining menopausal weight despite, eating healthy, exercising. I was so upset, really. I make my living demonstrating healthy lifestyles, and I did not look or feel my best. Now, I know all the research on fasting, calorie restriction, stress, and belly fat, all that stuff. But I needed a real world plan for putting all that knowledge to work in my own life. And here it is for you. Results talk, right? I lost 25 pounds in 2024, and it was fun. No, really, I had fun. I used the tools that I'm about to share with you to really get to know myself. It was like meeting a new best friend. And I discovered that I'm a pretty cool chick and pretty fun to hang with. I just still ate all the foods that I love, including pasta. I could eat pasta every day. And chocolate. Chocolate's its own food group. And with no guilt, just enjoying my life. So here's how I did it. I want to share this with you. Number 1 out of the 5 steps is planning. Now, here's why planning is so important. Most decisions throughout our day are made by the habit brain. This is the way we've evolved to save energy. It's efficient. We breathe automatically. We don't have to think all that through. We take walks, we just put one foot in front of the other, and we don't have to analyze that every time. So the brain produces habitual signals that get us through the day. And one of the big things about getting through the day is having enough fuel, is getting food. So the brain just handles that in the background for us. To lose weight, one must begin to question and reprogram those habitual eating patterns. Now, the approach often has been, at least for me, to bully myself. If you had better willpower, you wouldn't be eating that chocolate. Habits, though, are really deeply grooved pathways in the brain. They're thoughts we've thought over and over again, and we've practiced over and over again that behavior. And it has served us well in the past. So there is little motivation as far as the habit brain is concerned to make any changes. Many of us have had the experience of starting some sort of diet, all good intentions, but then the stresses of life come along and you just don't have the energy to keep that up anymore. The brain is at peak capacity earlier in the day. When we rest at night, there's all kinds of stuff that happens to help our brains reset. And in the morning, 8 a.m., Cheryl, makes way better decisions about my goals and dreams and healthy lifestyle than 8 p.m., Cheryl. So the best time to plan for me is earlier in the day. And many of us can relate to that. Earlier in the day, I was having my smoothies. Where's my smoothie? See what I'm talking about? Eating these smoothies. I was eating salads. I was doing great. But, by late afternoon, I'm starting to get a little bit more fatigued. Decision fatigue is setting in, and the pantry cupboard was getting way too attractive. And this isn't your imagination if this happens to you. As your overall energy is expended during the day, even if you've had a relaxing day, it still takes a lot just to live. And so the brain starts to shift more and more into automatic pilot. That's the efficiency of it, right? So your decision fatigue starts to set in. It's too hard to decide to have vegetables when our habit brain knows that some chocolate will be really comforting. It'll really pick me up. It's just a little treat I need to get through the day, right? I get it. I get it. So here's the action plan for step one. Each morning, take about 5 minutes, and that's all it really takes is 5 minutes. You can do it when you're having your morning coffee. And take a plan and make that plan for what you're going to eat today. You want to make sure the plan is realistic. Look ahead to how much time and energy you have for food preparation. If you have late meetings or you have to go see the kids' soccer game or there's special occasions like birthday parties or whatever, take all that into consideration. In the morning, your brain will be fresh and you'll be able to brainstorm about how to take care of yourself when you know you're frantic at 5:30 and you haven't eaten yet. So, ask for help around meals, plan some takeout, get a crock pot going. Um, make sure things are out of the freezer that you need out of the freezer. Do your planning, but make it realistic and take into account what you like. Don't make the plan all about what someone else says is healthy. Include foods that bring joy and pleasure. Your morning brain will easily consider your dreams and goals for weight loss and help you find a good compromise between eating healthy smoothies, but also giving you something that brings you pleasure. Remember, in mindful eating, there is no banned food. Unless maybe your medical doctor has said, if you eat this food, you're going to die, then don't eat that food. But for most of us, we have such complicated ideas about what's going on with food. Just eat what you like. Your body will tell you as we get through this plan, you'll see you're going to listen to your body. Your body will tell you what it needs for fuel. And you don't have to worry about what they say on the internet. And put plenty of food on your plan. Most of us do have that complicated diet past. I mean, I've done the deprivation diets, I've done the calorie restriction diets. It's traumatized my habit brain. For most of human existence, we were starving. The habit brain has evolved to say, give us food or we're going to die. So, when I cut myself off from eating for hours at a time when I was hungry, the habit brain was very upset with me and it doesn't really trust me anymore. So, when you're planning and it's 8 a.m. and you're like, oh, I'm just going to eat celery sticks for lunch today. But realistically, you need better fuel than that. So plan plenty of food. Now, you don't have to eat all the food you put on your plan. If you're not hungry, you're not going to eat it. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But if it's on the plan and you do need to eat it, you're not setting yourself up for feeling like a failure, like you blew your diet. You know what I'm saying? So put the food on the plan you think you're going to need when you're planning in the morning and you're at your freshest. Now, once you get the plan down on paper or on your device, you can use apps or whatever, I guess, for this, look it over, read it over. How do you feel about that plan? What you eat is not a moral statement. A lot of us, think, oh, well, I'm going to be so noble today and eat this. No, no, you're just eating for fuel. There are no trophies for depriving yourself of fuel. Are you happy or excited about the foods that are coming for you today? Because make sure that you're getting some reward for that habit brain. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So that's number one. Number two is when should you eat? It's very, very simple in mindful eating. Eat when you're hungry. Stop. That's it. Eat when you're hungry. How easy is that? Mindful eating is about reattuning to your body's cues about what it needs and when. Now, I often teach my students the hunger scale, and I'm sure you've seen some version of this before. But imagine a hunger scale, and there's number one, where you're so full, you're like on the couch after Thanksgiving dinner in a coma. And then at the very other end of it is number 10, where you're ravenous and ready to eat off somebody's arm. We really don't want to get to those extremes because when you get to those extremes, you really upset your habit brain and you really muffle your own body's wisdom about what you need. In mindful eating, we would like to respond to hunger cues before you get to number 7. So if 10 is ravenous, We only want to get to number 7. We don't want to go to 8, 9, or 10. That's too upsetting. So, how do you know when you should eat? How do you know if you might be hungry? Well, if it's been 3 or 4 hours since your last food, it would be normal to be hungry. So, that's a pretty good clue. If you're thinking that you're hungry, but you've eaten less than 3 hours ago or 4 hours ago, here's a trick that works really well, I think. Drink a glass of water, like a nice big glass of water, and then deliberately shift gears to an activity that you find really relaxing and pleasurable. So it's not like I'm going to go and I'm going to clean the bathtub, unless that's your jam. Okay. But it'd be something like I'm going to read a book for 15 minutes. I'm going to call a friend, going to go for a little walk with the dog, if you like doing that. I'm going to just go potter in my garden for a minute. I'm going to throw my legs up the couch and relax for a second. I'm going to do a meditation, deep breathing, any of those kinds of things. If you find them pleasurable and relaxing, do that for 10 or 15 minutes after you've drank the water. Then come back to, am I hungry? Now, you might be hungry, even if it's less than 3 hours. Our bodies have different fuel needs depending on the day. And I've never found any real logic to it. It doesn't really have much to do with the amount of exercise, or, I mean, I don't have a cycle anymore. But anyway, I just trust that my body knows what it's doing. And if I'm really hungry, I'm going to eat something, even if it's been less than 3 or 4 hours. And here are some other little clues I've started to pick up that my body's trying to tell me it's hungry. Because I remember, I don't want to get to 8, 9, or 10. I want to eat before I'm at 7, really. So I'm not doing that woo, 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 woo thing, which makes me really cranky, quite frankly. So I watch for a loss of focus, feeling a dip in energy, or yawning. Little belly gurgles, like not full blown hunger, but little belly gurgles. And I've told everybody in my world, if you see me doing this, rubbing my forehead, that I'm probably, before I've even really registered consciously, I'm getting a dull, almost imperceptible headache, like a tension. And that's a sign that I need fuel, that I'm hungry. And as you work with this, you'll probably develop other cues unique to you of when you are hungry. But you really want to be sensitive to that and really pay attention. Number 3, how much should you eat? Well, we go back to the hunger scale. If mindful eating number 1 is, I'm in a turkey coma on the couch, I want to stop eating before I get to 3. If I could stop eating at 4, that'd be good. But definitely I want to stop around 3. I don't want to get near to 2 or 1. This again really starts to mess with my hormones, messes with my communication signals. And so I really want to try to stop when I'm about 3 at the most. Now, with mindful eating, there is no measuring, no counting anything, no calories, no points, no carbs, nothing. You are learning to listen to your own body. Your body's super smart. It's been doing this for a long time. You can get that information flowing again. So here's what my suggestion is when you're trying to figure out what 3 would be or 4 would be on your hunger scale. Before you start your meal, stop, take a deep breath. So we're going to do mindful eating. We have to be mindful. So a deep breath helps center you in the present moment. Now look at your food. Really look at it. The colors, the textures. And they say we're supposed to eat the rainbow on our plates. So hopefully your food looks beautiful. French chefs say this is more important than the taste, is like what it should be, artistry on your plate. So just look at your food. Really appreciate it. Smell the food. What do you smell? What are the aromas that you detect? Because when you use your senses like this, it increases your pleasure from food. It increases the amount of lightning in your brain saying, oh my God, there's fuel. This is so exciting. We're so happy that she's going to feed us now. It's your God-given right to take pleasure from eating. And so let's do that. Now, as you start eating, you might be pretty hungry. The food probably smells and looks really good. It's probably going to taste really good, but you want to put the fork down. So put the fork down. As you're eating, just take a bite, chew the bite, put the fork down in between bites. You're still going to get all that food, I promise you. But you want to chew a little bit more slowly. I mean, if the food's really yummy, then why wouldn't I want to like taste it longer, right? And have more pleasure from it. So chew longer, take your time, put the fork down. My husband is the youngest of four boys, and they were all athletes back in the day. And, when we were young, there was no fast food on every corner. Like what you got, what your mother made for supper is what there was to eat for the rest of the night. Being the youngest one, he would just put his face down and just like, whoa, 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 eat as fast as he could. Because I guess as the big, going for seconds or the big brothers would take it, but he still eats like that. And I always say to him, take human-sized bites. No one will steal your food. But it's funny how that habit brain is, right? So really notice your food, taste your food. And then also, it would be lovely to like make getting this fuel a bit of an event. You could have nice table settings. You could really stop and notice who's with you while you eat. Maybe you put on some nice music. Like you could really make this very pleasurable by coming at it from so many different angles. And this is really important because your habit brain wants pleasure. It's one of its main driving forces. If you work with the habit brain and give it that pleasure, it's going to get this dopamine hit, which will make it happier and less likely to bug you for snacks later. Mm, more smoothie, yay. Now, continually check in as you're eating, thinking about that hunger scale. Here are some signals that maybe you've had enough. You start wondering, have I had enough? Yeah, you probably had enough then. You start to slow down your eating. Each bite doesn't taste quite so amazing. For me, little belches, not big, bleh, but little belches are a signal that my stomach is starting to get full. And if you have the urge to like maybe check your phone or, oh, you remember you were going to do such and such, and you start thinking about other things than the food, chances are you've had enough. And here are some signals that I blew past 3 on the hunger scale. I ate too much. And by the way, this happens to me all the time. I keep careful track of this stuff. It's good for my digestion overall to keep track of this. Not necessarily that I need to lose weight anymore, but it's healthy to really make sure you're not overfilling your stomach at any one meal. And so often I do, but I'm learning because I'm keeping track and I reflect on this. So here's some signals I've kind of gone past number 3. Needing to put stretchy pants on or loosen a belt. If I'm belching a lot. If I'm feeling pressured to clean the plate up, there's starving children in the world, so I have to eat everything on my plate or it's wasteful. I have to finish. If I feel that pressure, I'm probably overeating. Feeling like I need to have a nap after. If you eat the right amount of fuel for your body, you'll actually be energized after eating. You won't feel comatose. And if you're feeling like, I want to eat this because I'm not allowed to eat again for 4 hours, or I'm eating a really good food, and if someone finds out I had pasta for lunch, I'm never going to get pasta again. So, like, oh, so if you're really feeling pressured to finish because there's a scarcity mindset, you want to be aware of that because that can force you to overeat and you don't need to. Number 4, dealing with urges. Yeah, I get a lot of those. And I've had my plan, but every single day, my friends, I'm like, this was not on my plan, but I really want popcorn. This was not on my plan, but I really want a cookie. So everyone has the urge to eat when they are not truly hungry. This is absolutely normal. But if you're looking to practice mindful eating, whether you need weight loss or not, mindful eating is healthy for your digestion. It's maybe better for the planet. Might end up saving you money on groceries in the long run. So there's a lot of reasons to try mindful eating. And it's perfectly normal to want to eat when you're not on plan, not on plan. So what you want to do is change how and what you are eating to serve your higher dreams and goals. The habit brain is not where those dreams and goals live. The habit brain has those basic defaults. We talked about it just wants pleasure. It also wants to avoid pain at all costs. If you're feeling uncomfortable as you experience that urge to eat popcorn and it's making you antsy or uncomfortable or stressed, the habit brain will do everything it can to make sure you don't feel those things, right? Above all, though, the habit brain wants things to stay the same. It knows what will happen if you eat popcorn. It's done it every night for your whole life or whatever. We could all die if you don't eat popcorn tonight. And it's going to give you that level of anxiety when you're experiencing an urge. This is basic survival stuff, right? And it freaks the habit brain right out. So the important step when you have the urge to eat off plan, relax. You're perfectly normal. This is going to pass. Now, whatever has caught your fancy could be put on your plan for tomorrow or the next day. Remember, you can eat whatever you want in mindful eating. There's no banned foods. You just have to eat what you planned for yourself this morning. You have to follow through with what you promised. So, when you are planning, decide how you will nurture yourself during the urge to eat, because it's going to happen. And willpower is not enough to carry you through. And if it is, good for you. You don't need to listen to any more of my podcasts. You should take over and run them. Because for me, girlfriend, I got to tell you, the urges are tough. I have experienced more anxiety. You'd think someone was dropping bombs on my house with how nervous I get because I can't have popcorn in the moment. It's hysterical. And I never realized all this was going on. I would just go get popcorn. I didn't realize the level of anxiety. So that's for another day. But here's some tricks that have worked for me to deal with the urges. Deep breathing, that will help calm your nervous system. I love my guided meditations. There are lots of different apps out there that you can use for free, and some of them have meditations as short as 2 or 3 minutes. So it's really a wonderful tool to have queued up ready to go on your phone, maybe, so you can deal with this. I also really love restorative yoga poses. You could just go into the living room, throw your legs up the couch, put an eye pillow on for 5 minutes, just long enough to deal with the habit brain beating up on you. You know, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. So just long enough for that. I've also used journaling extensively. When you write down your feelings, even if it doesn't make any real sense logically, when you start to write down your feelings, it takes the sensations out of the habit brain and brings it forward into the more executive functions of the brain and calms you down. So, journaling, just the act of writing it out, is something that will be really helpful. And also, I've also thought about the different times of day when urges are the worst. For me, it's right after dinner. I know I've had enough to eat, one of the times anyway. I have many, many risky times. But after dinner, I know I've had enough to eat. I've been very happy with my meal. My stomach has enough fuel in it, literally. But boy, do I want to eat chocolate. Boy, do I want dessert. Not that there's anything wrong with dessert, but if I'm not hungry, I shouldn't be eating, according to mindful eating. So I have booked in a little walk around the block just to stroll. I let the dog stop and sniff at every blade of grass. I visit with the neighbors. Sometimes my honey comes with me and we blah, blah, blah about the day. But it's just a relaxing activity that takes my mind off the urge. So walking with a friend might be something. Now, if you're dealing with that urge and you're like, nope, nope, I'm hungry. I am really hungry. You know how my litmus test is? Would I go to the fridge and eat broccoli right now? And if I'm hungry enough to go eat broccoli, then yeah, girlfriend, you need some fuel. Whatever, for whatever reason, you need more today and you go for it. And I don't necessarily have to eat the broccoli, but if that's what's appealing to me, then I know I'm truly hungry. But if what's appealing to me is dessert or chocolate, then I know, I think I'm dealing with an urge and I have some strategies for that. Now, point number 5, the last thing in mindful eating we'll talk about today. Hmm, is how to take care of yourself through all of this because it's a lot of hard work, right? Dealing with that habit brain is kind of a full-time job if you're living a conscious life. So we want to celebrate our wins. You know, a lot of us have started diets over the years with a goal weight in mind. We progressed through the plan and it became apparent that, yeah, this is going to take a while. And that's perfectly healthy. Weight loss should be slow and take a long time. But that severely delayed gratification does not appeal to the habit brain. It wants to have a pleasure hit now. So what I did is I understood this dopamine thing and how to work with my habit brain. And I said, I want to reward myself for little tiny accomplishments. I'm not going to wait until the scale gets to that magic number. I'm going to reward myself every single day, maybe multiple times a day, for little things like I made a daily plan. Woohoo! If you're not used to doing that, it's a big change to train your habit brain to sit down at 8 a.m. and spend 5 minutes making a journal, like making a plan. So that gets a win. If I followed the plan, big celebration. Every day I still get that celebration. If I stopped it enough during that meal, I win. Journaling instead of giving into an urge, I win. What I've done, other healthy things like taking time for exercise, all these habits deserve recognition. You know, when little kids are around and they do something like when a little one's learning how to walk and they get up and they toddle for a couple steps and we all go, yay! Why do we do that? Because it's positive reinforcement. That little kid sees that what they're doing is socially acceptable, is desirable in the pack, and they repeat more of the same behavior. Anybody who was in education, if you were a teacher or an ECE, did you ever give out stickers to the kids or stars or something like that? Why does that work? Because we get a little dopamine hit when we get recognition and someone says, good job. It feels good, even as grown-ups. We still have the same reaction. So I tried to figure out what I could do to create that little excitement. I didn't want to eat any celebratory foods because that's where I got into trouble. I didn't want to drink a lot because I usually would have like a glass of wine to celebrate the day. I'm trying not to drink so much. And I didn't want to spend a ton of money. So what was I going to do? And this was a really hard question, but here's some things that I came up with. I would write out my accomplishment on a sticky note and put it up on the bathroom mirror. And I would put hearts on it and I would put like little stars and it would be like, great workout today. Put it on the bathroom mirror. And I'd look at that for the rest of the day. And every time I looked at my sticky note, I'd get a little dopamine hit. It would reinforce how great a job I did getting to that workout or whatever my win was. Then in the evenings, I always do an evening journal. I do it right in bed. And I make a practice of writing down 5 things that I'm proud of myself for that day, what I thought I did well. And this is not, like I solved, world peace or anything like that. These are tiny wins, as we've been talking about. I stuck to my plan. I got my workout done. I tackled this job at work. I got the bathroom clean. Like anything that I thought, any accomplishment. And then it's reinforced. It's brought out of my memory back into the front of my memory, and I'm feeling good as I go into the evening about my accomplishments for the day. You can also bring in friends or family members, loved ones who share your goals for growth, and you can contact them. I've been, of course, the people that I live with are kind of in on all this journey that I'm on. And I'll say to them, maybe I've lost a little bit of weight, or maybe I've achieved a business goal, or I graduated to a different level of my workout or whatever. But I really am starting to, when I say blow my own horn, it sounds like I'm all full of myself, but your loved ones want to see you happy and they want to see you do well and achieve your goals. So by sharing step by step with them what you're feeling good about, they're going to love you and they're going to like be happy for you. And you receiving their love, oh, that feels really good. That feels really good to feel as though you're being seen and you're being valued, that goes a long way to that whole heart center stuff. So bring friends and family in. Let your loved ones help you. So, mindful eating is the way to find your healthiest weight for good. Every experience along the path is an opportunity to learn more about you. And you are the most amazing woman. No wonder you want to know to know yourself better. No wonder. So, when you lose track of the plan, or eat more than you hoped, or have a week when the scale doesn't budge, do not worry. But you can mindfully and compassionately inquire as what you could marginally adjust today. What can you do just 1% better? Patience and consistency will win the race. Now, I've laid all of this out for you in a free guide. I'll put the link in the show notes. The guide also includes some additional visual explanations and some videos to enhance your understanding of this transformative way to look at eating. So stop the diets. Stop demonizing your favorite foods. Stop saying no to special occasions, going out because the temptation to eat would be too strong. Take back your life. So get your free mindful guide to eating with that link in the show notes. I truly wish someone had laid this out for me years ago. All the stress I could have saved myself, the guilt I have suffered with. I can have some French fries these days. I could have an ice cream now and again. I even have a little glass of wine now and then. It seems so simple now. And I'm very happy with my weight, and I'm much more confident and relaxed about my body. So I really want you to come and be mindful with me. So don't forget to download your free guide to mindful eating, and we'll talk soon.